Arabia from ArabiaAskedYou, and this is this week's Bae of the Week. Guys, you know I love to sing. So this week's for the Bae of the Week, we have Darrell Julien of Julien and Associates. He is the finance guru, especially for us millennials. Guys, you don't want to miss this. Stay tuned.
Michelle Obama, her so heavy, getting no $1. Michelle Obama, her so heavy, getting no $1. Michelle Obama, her so heavy, getting no $1. CONFIDENT, that's me, I'm confident.
Guys, so we have Mr. Julien, Darrell Julien, and so can you just give us a little information about your business?
Absolutely. So what I do is I teach people how money works. Our generation is the largest generation to ever grace this planet, and unfortunately we're not doing the right things with our money. So I like educating people, put them on the right track.
And what are we not doing with our money?
Well, one of the things is we're overspending. We're spending to look good to people we don't even know. And
keeping up with the Joneses.
Absolutely. Joneses, the Williams, everybody
right.
else. People we don't even like, people we don't even trust, people we don't know.
Right.
And unfortunately, what it's going to do is put us in a position where we're not going to have any money later on. So I try to educate people about preventing that happening to themselves.
Okay. And so I noticed that you had said something to me prior to filming. You said you can't win the money game if you don't know the rules.
Absolutely.
So what are those rules?
Well, some of the rules, one, is you got to pay yourself first. What a lot of people do is they pay the bills. There's an estimated about 40% of your income is going to old money. So what you want to do is treat yourself like it's a bill. You know, when you get paid, take your money, invest first as if it's a bill, then start paying off your debt and everything else, and then have fun with whatever you have left.
So when you say invest, do you mean like putting into stocks, or do you mean like getting my nails done?
No. Well, that's not necessarily an investment. It's more treatment. But no, investing, like not just stocks, because stocks could be risky. So if you don't know what you're doing, I wouldn't advise anybody to do that.
Okay.
But maybe put into a mutual fund or an IRA. You know, you put your money into an IRA, 30 years later you look up, you're not relying on Social Security anymore because you got money in the bank.
Okay, and so with the IRAs, is there a certain amount that you should put in? Like, is it like, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I would say put in what you can afford. You
right.
know?
So $5 is good.
Well, that might not get, it's good, it's a good start, but it's not going to get you to the point where you're financially independent.
So what would you suggest? Like, what's the perfect amount that you should put into an IRA?
Absolutely. Well, I call it the 10-10-10 rule. You take 10% of what you make, save it, put it away for a long-term investment. Take 10% for your spiritual beliefs if you want to. You can invest, tithe if you want to.
Right.
Or you can do 20% into a rainy fund, but 10-10-10. 10 into investing for the long-term retirement, 10 to tithe, 10 going to a rainy day fund. Maybe you want to buy a house or buy a car or do a vacation. 10-10-10. So it's 30% of your income if you can afford it. But start off with 5% and then grow from there.
Okay, and so with your company, what is it that you do for us?
Well, what I would do, absolutely. Well, what I do is I'll take a look at where you are, and then I'll educate you about how mutual funds work, and then I'll find the right mutual fund. And it could work for an individual, it could work for a business, it could work for a family. The main thing is to start.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what we do.
And how long have you been in business?
Well, I've been in business 7 years, 7 happy years.
Wow,
Absolutely.
excuse me.
7 happy years.
Okay.
And so now my business has grown over 7 different states. I have hundreds of clients, close to 1,000 clients, and just about $1 million of assets under management, meaning the money I've invested for my clients, from big business, small business, individual, self-employed people. So I do it all.
And so how old are you?
I'm 27.
27. So that means you started when you was 20.
I started when I was 20.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to Morgan State University.
Okay, shout out to Morgan.
Absolutely.
Homecoming.
There you go. Absolutely. Turn up. Beers.
Any tips on paying your student loans back? Like, should you start paying them while you're in school? Should you wait? Should you wait for the grace period? Like, any tips with that?
I think it depends on your situation. It's always subjective. Some people can delay it by staying in school, and if you want to go after that, after you get your bachelor's, go get your master's and delay it, go ahead. But you definitely want to start paying it off fast, because that's the only debt that cannot necessarily be forgiven. That's the only debt that cannot necessarily be forgiven. You can file bankruptcy over and over and over. School loans will still be attached to you. So you want to definitely start working on that, because I've seen how people have actually fall into a trap of that being something that could be held against them 20 years later, 30 years later, after they've already been established in their career. So you do want to start working on it. You do maybe want to work out a game plan to start paying it off, but you have to pay attention to it because it can hurt you in the long run.
So, say for instance, you know, my mother or my father passes away and they still have $100,000 worth of money with student loans. Does that money come to me? I mean, does it the debt?
Yeah, it can be inherited, but a lot of times there are ways to have that worked out. That's why I always say you should get a will and have proper life insurance. Because, for example, my parents, both of them went to school, and they have a life insurance policy. And part of their life insurance policy that I put together for them, by the way, part of the life insurance policy that they have covers any debt they may leave behind, so I don't have to inherit that. And that's one of the things that we, especially as a culture and as a community, need to start looking into. Wills and life insurance. We've seen recently Aretha Franklin, Prince didn't have a will. And so what that does is that leaves the people who are your inheritance, who are going to be the heirs to your inheritance, to have to kind of shuffle through that and go through probate, go to court, and try to figure out, well, mama loved me more than she loved you, so I should get this.
Right.
You know, with daddy, when we went out fishing, he told me I can have this, but nothing's on record. So a will and life insurance are two things that I think that every person, particularly our people, should definitely look into putting in place. You know, had to slide it in there.
Right.
Hey, it's Darrell Julien with Julien and Associates, and you're watching Arabia Asked You.
And at what age do you think that we should start writing those wills?
As soon as you have some type of asset, as soon as you own something. If not, especially as soon as you have kids. Whenever you have someone that's going to be adhered to your estate, you should be putting some estate planning steps into order to make sure that the people who are going to be left behind when you're gone after your demise don't have to go through all the scuffle to try to figure out what goes where, who gets what.
Okay, and so what are those assets?
Well, it could be a paid off car. That could be an asset maybe because, you know, it gets you around. It could definitely a house for sure. Maybe some investments. Maybe you own some stock. Maybe you own a business. But your greatest asset is your income. And so if you have an income stream that's coming in passively, you definitely want to make sure that you protect that. And that's what life insurance does. It protects your income. And my rule of thumb is that I've learned is that you should actually have 10 times whatever you make annually in your life insurance. So if you make $100,000, you should have $1 million. If you make $50,000 a year, you should have $500,000, so on and so forth. Because your income is your greatest asset.
Okay, so is there any other tips you would like to give to us?
Absolutely, definitely, for sure. I think that everybody should have some type of small business in place. I believe that having a business puts you in a position where you have some power. I would encourage everybody to start looking into investing for the future because it's going to be here before you know it. I'm about to celebrate my 10-year anniversary from high school. So just like that, time flies. So I would encourage everybody to start thinking about the future. Before you know it's going to be here. And growing old is not an issue. It's growing old and not having any money that's an issue. So start looking in the future, start planning for it so you can actually live the life that you designed versus living the life you have to settle for.
Where can our viewers find you if they want to invest in your business or if they just want to be a client of yours? Like, how can they find you?
Absolutely. So I keep it real simple so you can find me. You can find me on Instagram at KVNG Julien, Julien. So like King Julien, but with a V. Somebody stole it. And then Facebook at Darrell Julien, DarrellJulien.
So I just want to thank you so much for coming on my show. I want to give you a toast to your business.
Absolutely.
And for 10 years that you've been in business and also for your anniversary.
Absolutely.
And just thank you. And I just wish you all of luck in your future.
So
and cheers to you.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Prosperity and abundance.
Guys, thank you so much for watching Arabia Asked You. This is another episode of Bay of the Week. If you have any interest of being a Bay of the Week, you can email me at interviews@ArabiaAskedYou. Again, remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And again, that email is interviews@ArabiaAskedYou.com. See you for another episode of Bay of the Week.